I was born and raised in Roanoke, Virginia. Grew up there in the suburbs in a nice neighborhood and had a pretty typical and very fortunate childhood. I was raised by two parents, and I have an older sister named Sarah. I started to become more aware of my cultural identity, the fact that not everyone had an upbringing like I did. On my first trip to West Virginia with the Appalachia Service Project. It was here that I encountered people of a vastly different background. They looked like me, but nothing about their life was similar to mine. They grew up there deep in the mountains, tucked away, out of sight of everyday America, and lived in extreme poverty. I saw people with dirt floors, still using outhouses, children with no shoes, and people in what many would think are unlivable conditions. These experiences were transformative and highly influential to my sense of self in the world. This is when I really started to care deeply and profoundly about poverty in the way that I still care about it today. And it just so happens that during my 12 years of work with Appalachia Service Project, I happened to be the first center director in the history of the company to bring our services not only to poor white families, but to poor Latino families living in rural Appalachia. Soon after my time with ASP came to a close, I started my training to become a counselor. And it was through this process that I was led more deeply to consider the multiple aspects of my own culture and how they would show up in the room. Through a crazy turn of events, I would soon meet my now fiancée when I was in Paris. I thought she was Parisian, but it turns out she's Colombian. Our relationship would soon take me unexpectedly out to San Francisco, California, where I continued my clinical work, but in a way completely different to what I imagined. For the first few years out there, I worked in-home settings, juvenile probation, foster care, and for the first 2 years, I didn't have a single client who looked anything like me. And in those situations, in those newfound relationships, I was forced to deal with my differences head on. Those experiences, however difficult, proved to be the most transformative of my cultural development and identity and self-awareness. Growing close to the LGBT community was a capstone to my experience in San Francisco that I carry with me today and am replicating here in Charlotte. And also, my love and appreciation for the Latin culture would grow exponentially, not only because of my relationship with Kat, but also for the adventures that we would take together traveling to her native Colombia and beyond. These experiences continued to transform me in such a way that I would translate that into having a growing concern for the mental health needs of Latin culture in America. I tried my best to improve and constantly improve my Spanish skills so that I can reach a larger population in my life's work. I think reducing these barriers is a huge part of what we must do as counselors and counselor educators. As uncomfortable as it may be, part of my value is to constantly put myself out of my comfort zone. That's exactly what I did this past summer. And in some ways, it's what I continue to do by marrying into a Latin culture, where I'm constantly exposed to completely different ways of living life. As my own cultural horizons continue to expand, my appreciation for the differences among us continues to grow as well.